like us because we are the Chasing Points podcast. Welcome back. This is episode 191. We have Harrison, we have Sam, we have myself. We are without Brendan. Shout outs to Brendan. He is making sure that he is on the Giants medical staff to take care of them. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing today? How's everything going? How's your weekend? How's the week of sports been treating you? How are all of the things?
That was a great intro.
Thank you.
Did you practice that, or did that
Absolutely
just come to
not. It all comes to me.
That was
It's
good.
all just always.
off the top?
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm great. Good weekend. Hollow weekend. So we have lots of candy in the house. Dangerous time because especially, you charge them the dad tax, and the dad tax turns into like 17 Reese's peanut butter cups. I'm sure, Sam, you're in the same boat.
Yeah, my son said something to me today like, "Oh, Daddy, I'll give you Reese's peanut butter cup or something." In my head, I'm like, "Bro, I've already had like 6 of them." Keep it going. They're just loaded on sugar all weekend, literally bouncing off the walls. So if you hear a loud crash or something, they're probably fine.
Yeah, with daylight savings time wrapped up into it, it's unreal. It's just an unreal number of days where they're just waking up at their normal time, and their normal time is now like 5 a.m. So, yeah, we're good, though. How about you, Haze?
Well, I don't have a child, so I just have a dog, and he wakes up normally around the same time. So he didn't have any Halloween candy, so he's not hyped up off all that. Just a great weekend of watching sports. A game that I've been waiting for the past 3 years finally came out, and I've been playing that nonstop. So I'm very, very happy about that. I won't nerd out on it too much, so I'll just say that. But
Well, Arc Raiders action?
Phenomenal game. That's all I will say. Very, very phenomenal. It's the only thing I will say, it's bringing peace back to the gaming community.
That's good. I've heard good things. Might hop on there.
It's phenomenal. So whenever you want to, you let me know. But outside of that, did not do anything for Halloween. And this weekend, I will tell you guys before we get into football, I did not watch one full game this weekend.
This is going to be great.
Not one. And I'll tell you why. Is because my girlfriend knows that my team didn't play.
Yes. Yeah.
So when she knows that, she takes full advantage of it. And that day is hers. And I can't really argue it because when the Eagles are on, nothing else really matters. So
girlfriend tax.
Exactly. This is just a taxed podcast.
It's just the kind of what you sign up for.
It is. It is. Yeah. It is. So it might be the same for me this Sunday, but I'm going to try to not have that be the case since the Eagles play on Monday, but we'll see. NFL, dubs, L's. If this is the first time you've ever been here, we give our winners and losers of the week. Very simple. We will start with Harrison, who normally loses at things, but he's got a good dub here. He's got a good dub here. I'm sorry, Harrison. That was out of line. I apologize.
Yeah, no, I gave an L to the Vikings last week. So redemption tour. So we got JJ McCarthy back. Obviously, there's been some chatter about, was he really hurt? Was he just benched? But, he came back and led the team in a solid way. Didn't have like the most proficient kind of passing numbers, but made, winning plays when it mattered, threw for 2 TDs and beat the divisional opponent, which is the Lions. So the Vikings are, sitting at 4-4. Right now, right behind the Lions at 5-3. Packers lost as well this week. So that division is getting a little crowded. And it's good to have kind of JJ McCarthy back. He obviously missed the whole last year, missed 5 games already this year. And he was emotional in his post-game press conference talking about he just wants to be out there and be able to contribute. So it's only right that I give them my dub for this week, just for their showing against a really tough team. And hopefully, the Vikings can get back on track and make this division more interesting than it even already is.
I would say this is like a dub L, because the L goes to the Lions, but I'll get to that in a second. Even though they're not my L, by the way. The Vikings, shout out to them for realizing that they actually had the quarterback that they let Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones walk for. And, it seemed like they were only going to put JJ back in, even though they basically said that he was going to be the guy for Carson Wentz, who is a glorified backup. And I say that respectfully because he's helped the Eagles team be where they are and get to their first championship. But Carson Wentz his career has become a backup. So give JJ the chance. JJ is doing what he has to do. Honestly, he's the best quarterback on that roster. Obviously, he's healthy now and able to spin the rock. But the Vikings defense actually showed up this game, and they were able to do what they were supposed to do. And watching that against the Lions. And still come out on that. Who is, Lions go up. This is the roller coaster of the Lions, which is why I say this is the L for them. They always, in the last 2 to 3 years, it started out being, a Super Bowl favorite. And then they go and they have these games and several games like this throughout the season. And you're like, are the Lions really what we think they are? And then we saw what they did last year, and then they completely imploded when it got to the playoff time. And there's just flashes of things. And I just want to remind people, I know he plays well during the regular season, but Jared Goff is still Jared Goff to me. And I say that with all due respect because they have a ton of weapons around on the defensive side and the offensive side, but the defense is kind of Swiss cheese it sometimes. And they allowed this type of thing to happen where JJ McCarthy led offense, to put up 27 in general. And I know obviously the defense helped, but but shout out to the Vikings.
Well, they got a huge kind of pivotal stretch coming up. They have the Ravens next, then the Bears, then the Packers. So you got 2 out of 3 divisional games. NFC North is really crowded right now. Green Bay's at 5-2, Detroit's at 5-3, Chicago's at 5-3, and Minnesota's at 4-4. So these next couple of weeks will be really pivotal in the race for the NFC North, and I think it'll just stay close the whole year.
It will.
It kind of talks to the parity of the league, right? I mean, there are, and just any given Sunday, but there are a lot of teams that look like they could win the whole thing, and then next week they just look like, not great. So this is just another one. We knew this division was going to be a dogfight, right? And here it is, and the Vikings aren't out of it yet. And if they can get consistent play, and they're going to want to run the football, continue to run the football more, but it helps when you have, it's one of the best sets of wide receivers out there as well. So, and that defense, you can't count them out. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if JJ was benched on purpose, though. I mean, Carson Wentz's shoulder was literally hanging off of his.
No, that was
body,
was just kind of some rumors about
speculation,
how he played the first 2 games. And, that to be out that long with an ankle injury, sometimes that is the case. But I think he put a lot of that speculation to rest with, he didn't look like lights out, but it's enough for them to win.
He looks like
also
a
his
quarterback
first
making.
season.
He looks like quarterback making his 4th career start or whatever it is.
100%.
But you got to give him an opportunity to actually grow, and you literally let 2 starting quarterbacks walk off your roster for him.
Yeah.
So let him play. I understand you're being cautious, but and Carson Wentz does what he does. He gives you flashes of, I could be great, but then I'm still Carson Wentz, and then they fell into that trap. And then they saw what happened. The ball didn't move down the field. Carson's good for trying to extend a play and then having a bonehead throw. It's what happens. But let the young guy play. Like, you banked on him. Let him grow with JJ. JJ's there. And again, you got to let it happen. That's the only way they're going to build that connection. So just let it flourish.
100%.
Or try to flourish. 100%. Something that's been flourishing right now is up in Seattle. And that's the Seahawks, Sam, and it's their former USC quarterback for Harrison. What do you got for the Seahawks?
I texted our buddy Dave last night, and because the 3 of us are huge Sam Darnold believers still, and have really been the whole time. And I said, I want Sam Darnold back. Is what I said. I don't know if he answered me, but that's I love you, Sam Darnold. I can't quit you, Sam Darnold. What did he have? 17 completions in a row, had 4 touchdowns at halftime. I get up at halftime. I see my wife in the kitchen or something, and I said, Sam Darnold has 4 touchdowns and it's halftime. And she just gave me this look because she's not on the roller coaster with me, but she's watching. She's watched this train wreck of a franchise that I love for, the last 18 years, us being together. So like, yeah, Sam Darnold just looked great. The defense looked spectacular. Commanders, I know we're in a rough spot, and that game got ugly quick in more ways than one, unfortunately. But
yes,
I mean, Horton is going to be a stud receiver. JSN is fantastic.
One of the best wide receivers in the league, and not being talked about enough.
Yeah, not nearly at all.
Yeah.
He probably leads the league in receiving, right? I don't know. I'm not looking at standings, but he's good. Right. And I mean, Charbonnet is just gonna, it's got this thunder and lightning between Ken Walker and Charbonnet here that really like to see. I like Arroyo, the rookie tight end there too, and this defense is.
The defense is ridiculously
playing out of its out of its mind, and this is why what's his name got the head coaching job. Mike McDonald, right? Mike McDonald's that his name, the Ravens coordinator.
Yeah,
I mean, just not missing a beat here, and I mean, Sam Darnold, Chris Collinsworth said it on the broadcast, and it was kind of tongue in cheek, but like, yes, throw Sam Darnold into the MVP conversation at this point, just based on what's going on. Just love to see that, especially when you're moving off of Geno, and Pete Carroll's gone, and what are we going to do? Okay, well, Sam Darnold, is this for real? And yeah, it has been so far, and just love to see it. So
I love their defense. I was really high on them going into the year just because of how their defense played last year, and they didn't lose a lot and then gained a little bit as well. I was just concerned about like the offensive line, but Sam Darnold has been fine behind that offensive line, and they've been able to run the ball effectively as well. And just some plays out of the pocket for Sam Darnold too, just making things happen, extending plays. He's just been so good. And
getting rid of the ball quick, making decisions.
Yeah, better than I thought he could ever be. I mean, I've watched him since USC, and he was fine at USC, and then obviously his career didn't get off to the greatest start, but he's grown immensely, and he deserves all the credit. Not all of it, obviously. The team's really good, but a lot of the credit this year for just maintaining, what he built last year with the Vikings, and then just continuing to get better, and now obviously one of the better NFL quarterbacks in the league. So never thought I'd say that.
I'm sure a lot of people didn't think they would say that. I'm sure even though Sam and I, have been rooting for him, we never thought we would say that he'd be one of the better quarterbacks in the league. But again, this is what happens when you give guys opportunities, that they grow and they learn behind certain people. Again, I think we as fans, and I think I'm going to throw us in there too, because sometimes we just think about it, is these guys, when they come out of college, they're young as shit. They're 20-something years old, don't know where they want to be or what they're going to do in life after. All they know is football, right? And that's it. Where these young guys, not saying they're not smart outside of that, but this is what their life is. They're going from literally being, hey, I was just at a frat party, to, hey, I'm in a job. I got to do this every single day. This is my job now, right? And it's very hard. And especially in a quarterback position, is so much demand on you, where you go from being the guy to now just being one of the guys, and you have to carry a whole franchise and their whole fan base. Like, that's a pressure that not many people get to understand fully and feel. And so these guys, again, system that they're in, there's many moving parts to this. So I mean, he's an example of a guy needing time to learn, to grow, go through his trial and tribulations. You watch Baker Mayfield do the same thing. You watch Daniel Jones do the same thing. Like, there's multiple people that just, Geno, even though he's descending at this point in time, Geno had an ascension that is like, oh, that's the guy that they drafted that high. Okay, this works out here. So again, there's a lot of moving pieces in this, right?
He was 20 years old when he was drafted, right?
There you go.
So that's also redshirt sophomore. So
yeah, I don't want to understate the defense either, too. So they have given up under 20 points every game except one so far, and that was that like absolute thriller against the Bucs where it was 38-35. But other than that, they've given up 13, 17, 13, 12, 19, and 14. So it's like that defense is for real. Very good.
It's something about the rain. It's something about the rain, man. It has to be. But when it rains, it pours. And Harrison, you might as well just do your L because it's connected to this game. And I didn't expect to see what I saw.
Yeah, I think the Commanders can just kind of retire the Redskins look. I think it brought some bad vibes back. And I just have like serious questions about why Jaden Daniels was even in that game at that point. You're down 30 plus points. And obviously, we've all seen the injury. And if you haven't seen it yet, don't look for it.
Don't watch it. Don't.
It's really, really gross and brutal. Thankfully, it's only his non-throwing arm. So I'm hoping it doesn't kind of pay any like future or jeopardize anything in his future. Dislocated elbow. Yeah, it was just brutally gross. Probably one of the worst injuries I've seen. Back-to-back weeks. Obviously, the Scatabo one was equally grotesque, but this one was really bad. And I'm just like, why? I was just shocked he was in the game. Sam texted, and I had turned the game off at that point. And then I scrolled, and I was like, I don't even know who got injured. And then I was like, oh no, and saw it. And I wish I never saw it. So don't look for it.
I didn't see it live. And I wish I didn't, because I didn't. They just said there was a scrum around him. I missed it again. Yeah, to your point, it was 30-point blowout or whatever. So I was in the other room. I come back and I'm like, oh, everyone's gathered around him. What? And kudos to all the broadcasts nowadays too. And since the DeMar Hamlin thing, like not showing the replay of this stuff, like great. Awesome.
Yeah, we don't need to see it.
We don't need to see that. Especially, the most televised broadcast of the week for anything. So yeah, it was brutal. Prayers up to him. Such a dynamic player. I didn't even realize what the score was in the sense of
it was over.
That bad. Yeah.
It was over. They got blitzed early. They obviously have had a year from hell that, they obviously weren't expecting. They did play above their skis last year, won a lot of close games, and this was the worry going into this year. They didn't add much. I mean, they added Debo, but he's sort of over the hill. Added an offensive lineman, but other than that, they didn't really improve that roster much from last year, and that was a year where everything went right for them. And this year, everything is going wrong. So they're obviously going to be without Jaden for an extended period of time, and they're going to have to, really dive deep and work around building a roster around this kid to where he can be successful, because I have no questions about Jaden Daniels. Like, obviously, he's in his second year, but he's a winning player. He's a winning quarterback, and I have no questions about him, but they're going to have to do some work to build up around him if they want to be competitive in the NFC East. So a lot of work to be done for the Commanders.
Just haven't been able to establish a running game.
Nope.
I got rid of Brian Robinson. What's his name? Ja'Cory Croskett-Merritt, not really doing anything. McLaurin, I think I heard like week 12 he could be back. I think there's a bye in there too, so that's brutal. Yeah, Debo is not the same player he even was at the beginning of the season. Looks like, but they've tried with this line a little bit, right? They got Laremy Tunsil. They traded a lot to get him. What's his name? The dude from the Cowboys, the center, from Nebraska. Whatever. They've tried. Tyler Biadasz. He's their center, right? So, a lost year, unfortunately. Or maybe I don't know what the record is. I don't know where they are.
They're 3-6. It's a lost year for them.
Yeah. I'm gonna chime in here, and I want to kind of I'm going to be brutally honest here, and I want to build a barrier around it first, because I didn't see the injury until I saw Harrison text in our group chat. And again, I wish I didn't see it, but unfortunately this is, you see these things immediately, and I'm very happy, again, to you guys' point, it wasn't broadcasted all over the place, but obviously is broadcasted all over social media because it's a reaction and that we all have to see and watch these things. So for that, I'll start off with Jaden Daniels. And anybody, you never really want to see anybody get injured. You want to see the best of the best out there, regardless of what your alliance is to whatever team. Obviously, the Eagles and Commanders have a rivalry as their division adversary. But I never want to see that. I want to play him at his top tier. I want to beat them at their best, right? And not having them there as in fandom leaves that open space of fans like, well, if we had this, we had that. It's not even about that for me. It's about making sure this young man gets healthy. I know the skinnier guys in sports are always worried about when it comes to injury, and this is something that had nothing to do with that, and maybe it did as well, but I just don't like how that turned out. That's with that being said, I do want to talk about something. Like I said, I'm going to be very brutally honest. Somebody said, based off of last year, that we're going to give the Commanders a ton of primetime games because we believe that they are going to be the cream of the crop because of what Jaden Daniels did last year. You guys remember when we sat here on this podcast and I said that I don't think the Commanders are going to be what they were last year, and I thought after teams got footage on that, that's been exactly what it was. And I know people again get very loud and very high on these things, but if you look at the pieces that are on that team and were on that team last year, they just caught fire at a really, really good time. A lot of things rolled their way. A lot of things went their way. Not the spanking of the Lions. They absolutely put belt to ass on that one. That was a whole completely different thing. But in general, they molded and meshed at the perfect time. But things change from year to year. Footage changed. The team changes, and so on and so forth. To see what it was when Jaden Daniels was healthy, it still wasn't great. I mean, he essentially was battling injury throughout this whole year. With that being said, and then you go out and they're one of the oldest teams.
Yeah, I think they
on
are.
Paper.
Yeah.
And so you're going and getting a Deebo Samuel that you think is going to do that. Deebo has not been the Deebo that we've seen since like the Super Bowl. Like he's been a shell of himself. Yes, he has flashes and spurts of that. Doesn't really do anything. You have Lattimore, who tore his ACL last night, who is sus at corner, and he's been that for a while. He gives up big plays. You have Scary Terry that can't stay healthy. You get rid of Brian.
Training camp.
Yes, you get rid of Brian Robinson. And you go and you do this, and you're like, oh, we just get rid of him, and we're going to do with this. We got this guy that flashes in preseason and does great and hasn't really done anything during the regular season. These are the moves that are made. I mean, arguably, your best offensive weapon right now at this moment is Zach Ertz.
Yeah, it's not good.
So, and shout out to my guy. I love Zach Ertz.
But that's not prime.
Who you need to have as your primary number one overall guy. So, with that being said, there's a lot of problems. Again, injuries happen. It could break a team down in a second. And you know this. Any player and any team, I don't want to say any name to knock or mess up anybody or do that. So I'm knock on wood just in case it's just anybody. But one key player on any team can ruin whatever trajectory that you have. And we're seeing that. But I also believe, again, there's a coaching element to it too. So I won't continue to go down that whole path or whatever. I'll just go to my dub. I wanted it to be Howie Roseman so bad, but I didn't want to be a homer on here. So I left that alone. But just know that was an honorable mention there. But I wanted to give it to the Panthers. He is something. I wanted to give it to the Panthers, who beat the according to media at the beginning of the year, the already crowned Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers, who have another team like the Lions have looked absolutely sus in moments and do this. If players like Micah didn't pay so much attention to, the team that they're playing a week after that, the Eagles, and maybe they focus a little bit better, they might have had a chance to beat the Panthers. But shout out to the Panthers and shout out to any given Sunday, because you can win against any team any given Sunday. This is why these guys are there. I know Bryce did not do too great. But Bryce, Rico had 2 touchdowns.
Two
got what happened?
He had 2 pumps as well. Got a flag.
Okay.
Did you see his quote? So great. Hall of Fame quote.
What did he say?
I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Thank you.
I thought I was good with 2 pumps or something like that. I think 3 is over the line, but
Phenomenal. But I mean, they really didn't do much offensively outside of those two touchdowns that he had. I mean, Bryce Young had 102 yards with an interception and was 11 for 20. Meanwhile, on the other side, Jordan Love was 26 for 37, 273 yards and one interception, no touchdowns whatsoever. Josh Jacobs scored a touchdown, and Xavier McKinney had an interception. Phenomenal player, by the way. Another one that the Giants just let walk. But yeah, I saw the again, didn't watch the game, but saw highlights and saw the end result, and I'm still flabbergasted that they lost. So
another bad loss too to the Browns, right? Earlier in the year.
Yeah. I mean, they've been overlooking opponents left and right.
Yep.
I get the trap game aspect in your home. The real L of this is those helmets.
Yeah.
Like a sticker decal. Like I just bought my son Hot Wheels and I put the stickers on like the track, like the fake leather.
Yeah, we've had some bad ones this year.
And just back-to-back L's with the Packers uniforms. At least this was better to Harrison's point yesterday.
Yeah.
At least the pants weren't
the pants nude colored. But the shoes matching was a good touch. But I mean, don't look now. The Panthers are 4-1 in their last 5. So
yeah,
maybe they don't suck.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they're turning it around.
Bryce Young's has Harry's picture on the bulletin board every day.
He can have it on there, but he's still not very good. So I don't care.
No, he's not. I don't care. He's not. It's very, very true. But again, he might be good somewhere else. Who knows?
No, I think he'll be fine. Whatever. He's fine. They have just more pieces around him now. I mean, Ted McMillan is very good. And obviously the defense was really solid. The Packers could never get on track yesterday. I mean, they scored their first touchdown in the fourth quarter. And it's
if they can run with Dowdle and Hubbard, they're not going to need to ask Bryce Young and or Andy Dalton to do too much. Yeah,
you don't need to.
Bryce Young makes timely plays. He does make some, good plays extended out of pocket. He still really needs to make plays, in system, which he doesn't do. But the times when they do need him late in games, he's made plays. So I'm not writing him off in any way anymore, like I did last year. But he's okay. He's okay.
It's funny because it's funny how people say things, and you need all your other teammates to win the game, and it's not 100%. Just solely on the quarterback. It's funny how people just ignore that sometimes. As I mentioned, Micah. I'm about tired of hearing from Micah. He as much as the relationship soured with him and Jerry Jones, they are one and the same in a sense of just love to be in front of the microphone 24/7 to say everything that they want to say and shouldn't say. I did see something, and you can tell me if it's fake or not, because I didn't really get to dive in, but I saw like a little glimpse of like Micah kind of threw Jordan Love under the bus just a little bit post game. I have to read a little bit more on that, but if that is true, again, Micah has done that with Dak, and he seems to just continuously put his foot in his mouth. If that's accurate, the guys will confirm that or not. But regardless, Micah talking, he has this weird obsession with the Eagles. And he always talks about them every chance he can get, even when he's not playing them. But he always just seems to just say a lot of things, and I just wish it would just stay on the field sometimes. But I get it. In this day and age, these guys are making more money doing their own thing as well too. So I guess good for him. I just be that defensive anchor that you need to be for that. That's it.
I mean, the guy just has zero filter. So I mean, he has
he's great for media. They love him for that.
It's kind of that Devo wide receiver mentality, but in a defensive end or linebacker or whatever you want to call him. I think he said, his quote was, if we lose a game like that in the NFL, we just didn't play good. Not too many quarterbacks are throwing for 100 yards and winning. So I don't know if that's a shot, so to speak. And I didn't hear his whole thing, but I mean, he speaks facts. It's just like,
he does.
I don't know if you need to say that, but
it's like, bro, you just got here.
And like even him yesterday, I think there was 0 pressures across 21 pass rushes in the loss. So it's like, you didn't do your job either, man. So
nope. So don't point the finger anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's what I said last week about the Packers. They're good. It's just I can't get behind them until I see it consistently, and I don't know if we will.
They are sus, and they will continue to be sus. And again, it starts with Jordan Love, who we've deemed as a top 5 quarterback again, and by we I mean media has deemed as a top 5 quarterback again, and he's the the best thing and this and that. And I haven't seen this young man win anything yet. And I would put Dak ahead of him. I 100% would put Dak ahead of him. And I know there's people that they've put rankings and put him ahead of Dak. Dak is one of the best. Dak should be in the MVP conversation right now.
Oh,
the way he's throwing the 100%. Ball. If he actually had a defense, which we will see how that happens this evening when they play. So very, very intriguing by that. But Sam, you have the Colts as an L.
Yeah, to Harrison's point just now of is the shine coming off a little bit. This was a big test for arguably coming into the game the best. I think it was the best offense in the league from just maybe points or total yards or whatever. But the Steelers won against the Colts. Big game here. Like, are the Colts for real? And post Halloween, Daniel Jones turns into a pumpkin. You're allowed to have a bad game. It gets amplified when people don't believe in you and are kind of waiting for all the wheels to fall off. And is this the first one, or was just a bad game, which again you're entitled to? But three picks here at all the wrong times, couldn't get anything going. Or to the standard that they were running the ball previously. I think every time Jonathan Taylor touches the ball, he gets 3 touchdowns, and that was not the case. That was not the case yesterday. But yeah, rough game. Now you're going to Berlin to play the Falcons here, and I imagine there's some. I remember seeing it recently what the upcoming schedule is. Harrison, you always have it in front of you. Maybe you have it, but I know there's some big games coming up there. I think the Broncos and the Chiefs.
They have the Falcons in Berlin, then at the Chiefs, then versus the Texans, and then at the Jags. So
tough defense there with the Texans.
Texans defense is statistically the best in the league right now.
Yeah. So did a little bit of
say the Texans' defense is statistically the best in the league right now.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yep.
Okay.
Imagine if they could score points.
That's why the Broncos win yesterday was really impressive. The Texans, I picked the Texans and they should have won that game. But their defense they're giving up the least amount of yards, least amount of points, best on third down percentage, all across the board. They have the best numbers in the league. But to go back to the Colts, I'm interested to watch this space because I think Daniel Jones threw 50 times yesterday. That just can't be the formula. Yeah. It just can't be, and they got down early. And I'm interested to see, playing on grass. So Jonathan Taylor was not very effective yesterday. They've obviously played on turf for almost the whole year. Even in their road games, they've been on turf. I'm curious to see if that can translate, in the tough winter months. They run a lot of zone reads and zone runs, so it's a lot of kind of outside stuff, inside to outside. But their run game looked not effective at all yesterday, and their defense was not how we've seen it over the past couple weeks. This is probably one of their toughest tests to date. I mean, they recently played Titans, Chargers, Cards, Raiders.
I was just about to go to that.
Lost to the Rams, Titans, so they've had a pretty. I'm not going to say they're fraudulent, but we'll see how they do, on the road on grass as opposed to at home in a dome where they can kind of run all over the place and Jonathan Taylor can be his most effective self. So, yeah, the defense is going to have to show up early for them in those road games because having Daniel Jones throw 50 times cannot be the answer.
I'm glad you pointed that out because that was going to be my next thing. I mean, they beat the Broncos by 1. So they inched that out. But the 2 teams that they played against are now 3 teams that they played against that are actually somewhat of contenders. They've either lost 2, they've lost 2 out of the 3, and the third one they're very, very close to. But seeing that schedule that's coming up, It's not looking. We're really going to see who they really, really are. I believe we're going to see if we see the old Daniel Jones, if we see Danny Ducks, or we see Indiana Jones. Whichever one we're going to see is going to be very, very clear soon, especially when they go and play the Chiefs.
I think they just need to not ask him to do so much. Like he's still
let him
Daniel
get his
Jones.
feet under him. Yeah, let him get his feet
Daniel
under him.
Jones. Like throwing 50 times, you get him around 30 times and a good completion percentage, and let the running game lead the way. That's the best formula for them, and that's going to depend on that defense showing up. Because, like I said, if you get behind with them, it's going to be trouble. And then just to I want to touch on the Texans defense. It wasn't in the dubs, but we did bring it up. They have yet to give up 20 points in a game this year. They've given up 9, 19, 10, 0, 10, 19, 15, and 15. So they're 3-5, but with that defense, they're going to be in every game.
That's crazy that they're statistically the best team, and it's wild that we can see it. That's why I love sports so much, is that you on paper, it's just weird things happen. The Bengals last year were probably the best offensive team, but their defense was dog water. And then you just look at the Cowboys. They have one of the best offensive this year, and their defense is dog water. And then you have the Texans, where their defense is phenomenal and their offense is dog water. So it's very interesting to see how these all play out. But
can we hand out an honorable L to the Bengals as well?
I was going to give an L to the Bears, even though they won that game. Yeah,
that
great game, but
that defensive performance at the end is just chef's kiss for the Bengals. Like, holy shit! Like, how do you possibly give up that pass and miss that tackle? And the camera right after cuts to a fan in the stands. He's got a sign like the Simpsons chalkboards, like I do not miss tackles. I do not miss tackles. I do not miss tackles. It was an amazing game to watch. That thankfully I'm like don't have much rooting interest. Like I obviously pull for Caleb, and he played pretty solid and obviously made the game winning touchdown. But just being able to watch that and the dumpster fire that some of these teams are is just it's fun.
As the resident Bengals fan on the podcast, it's very reminiscent to last year. I mean, Joe Flacco at 40 years old with a bum shoulder is. He went into the game on the injury report with a shoulder injury. And it's just like Joe Burrow last year. I mean, they'll score 40, but they're going to give up 41 or whatever it is. And it's just 2 weeks in a row now, just bad losses to, they shouldn't have lost these games to the Jets and now to the Bears.
Joe Flacco threw for 470 yards.
Fire Kevin Stefanski. Fire him.
Is that the Browns?
Yes, they let him walk. They traded him.
Well, it's not his
you
fault.
could have been
not the GM.
Listen. No. Kevin Stefanski needs to go because he's still not letting Shador play on top of that too. Give him a chance. They're just terrible. They're just terrible.
470. 470.
Father Time is not messing with him. Go ahead, Joe.
Unless it's a Hail Mary after the game, which he threw 25 yards short.
Listen.
The whole ending of that game was cinema. Like, just for the last 5 minutes, just watch that. It's incredible.
The whole situation. I know I just said, the Vikings have one of the best receiving cores. Bengals probably have the best one too. And you throw the ball 20 yards.
Sure. And couldn't reach it. Couldn't make it.
Just wasn't there. But
couldn't make it.
T. Higgins had a good game.
Hey.
Chase Brown looked alive. So there you go. Good for fantasy, not good if you're a Bengal fan.
No.
Well, here's our records, and some of them are good, and some of them are not good. We got Sam at 10-3, Bacon 8-5, Harrison 7-6, and me 7-6.
Yeah,
not to be confused with 6-7. But for overall for the season, Sam is leading the way with 91, Bacon 88. Myself with 80 and Harrison as normal at the bottom 75. Week 10 picks. Teams that are on the bye. We have the Bengals, thank God. Cowboys, Chiefs, and Titans. Okay. So we have Raiders at Broncos. We all have the Broncos. We have in Berlin. So early in the morning, wake up. You have Falcons at Colts. We all have the Colts. Then followed by the Saints, Panthers. We all have the Panthers. Good God, that's an awful game every year. Giants at Bears. I am the only one that chose the Giants. Everybody else chose the Bears. The Jags at Texans. Sam and I and Bacon have the Jags. Harrison has the Texans. Bills at Dolphins. We all have the Bills, and Bacon has the Bills by 1 million. That probably means the Dolphins are going to win by a field goal or 1 point. Ravens at Vikings. I have the Ravens. Sam has Ravens. Harrison has Vikings, and Bacon has Vikings. So we're split down the middle on that one. Browns at Jets. I can't speak. We all have the Jets, except for Harrison, who has the Browns, which we'll get back to.
I really didn't want to do it, but I did.
We don't have to get back to this.
We might have to. Patriots at Bucks. We are split here. Bacon and I have the Pats. Sam and Harry have the Bucks.
This is a
Cardinals,
tough one.
It is. It's going to be a really good game. I'm definitely going to watch that one. Cards at Seahawks. We all have the Seahawks here. Rams at Niners. We all have the Rams. Lions at Commanders. We all have the Lions. Sunday Night Football. Steelers at Chargers. We all have the Chargers. And Monday Night Football. We all chose the Eagles, except for the Giants fan who chose the Packers.
Hater.
That's no shock there. Browns, Harrison, why?
Why not? With any conviction you pick the Jets or the Browns? That's why we don't have to get back to this. Like, this could be a 9-6 game. It could be a 42-41 game. It could be anything.
What if this is a 0-0 draw?
Great. I would love that. Sign me up.
Sam would not love that.
I at least feel like the Jets could move the ball again. I know the Browns defense is tough. But Dylan Gabriel, I don't think is a NFL quarterback.
I don't like Dylan.
He's a backup quarterback. He'll be that.
Differentiating thing. Yeah, I just don't think they're going to be able to move the ball. And I like Judkins and Fannin and a lot of those weapons, but he can't throw the ball down the field.
I just want to know why Stefanski won't put Shedeur in. I'm going to keep talking about this every week until it happens. I just need to know why he won't even try it.
I don't know. I don't have an answer.
There's something's going on.
I know there's something going on. That's why I keep highlighting it, because when somebody's that bad, normally teams just go to their backup and see what it's like. You already know your season's over. You got your star player, who, again, is his fault for re-signing. But I did hear a rumor the reason why he did re-sign is because the Browns were trying to get Dak Prescott in the offseason. And when that didn't happen...
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's who they were trying to get.
Man, how much cap money? How much dead cap are the Browns going to have in that QB room?
I don't know.
The other day, I think the cap number for Deshaun next year is $80 million.
Oh, that's
cap number. Yeah,
I think I had something that I wanted to share with you guys about that. So just hold on 1 second.
Two football notes before we move off of football. Did CJ Stroud have a concussion?
Yes.
So he's probably not playing. There's only been a couple instances with this new protocol where someone had a concussion played the next week, and I'm just not. I just don't think Davis Mills can beat the Jags, but I'm not putting too much stock in the Jags there.
I'm picking that solely off of the Texans defense. I think they'll have Trevor Lawrence in absolute hell if they can score 16 points or so. I think they pull that one out, but another one where I'm not overly sure about.
No, if you told me, I have no conviction with that. Rico Dowdle quote: "Haze, you listening?
I am.
From my understanding and everything I've learned, we go over stuff like this every week in the meeting room. I definitely think you're supposed to get 2 pumps. Hopefully, I don't get a fine." Quote of the year.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good one.
That's good.
That's
pumps.
Phenomenal.
Everyone knows the rules.
That's
Key and Peele should pay the fine publicly.
Yeah, 100%.
That'd be hilarious.
That's phenomenal. That is definitely phenomenal. What was also phenomenal is, if you missed it, Game 7 of the World Series.
The whole series.
And this if you're a sports fan, you live for a game 7 because it's a do or die for each team, and this is when you get the best of these high profile players, and 100% you got to see every ounce of emotion, good and or bad, throughout this game. And I mean, from beginning to end. And then obviously you get to see the joy of a Clayton Kershaw walking off, winning another World Series, hugging his family, to Vlad Guerrero crying in the dugout, and the Blue Jays lose. Because I definitely had to make sure that got on here because I remember what they did to the Yankees. But gentlemen, what was your thoughts of the game? Watching it, I know I was very ecstatic seeing Bo Bichette, who I've been screaming from the rooftop for many years about, hit that home run and just pimp it and just look at it, and the embrace of that. And then to me, seeing the unsung heroes of this, and it always feels like in these game 7s, there's always that one guy that nobody ever accounts for, and they just do something with Rojas and then also Will Smith. So what is your thoughts? What is your big takeaway from just watching this game 7?
25.9 million people watched game 7 of the World Series. 16.4 million people watched game 7 of the NBA Finals this year. That's 9.5 million more people. So you could say what you want about baseball. I don't think baseball's dead.
No,
there's just a lot of games, and you just don't like baseball. So shut the hell up. It was an awesome environment. It was just great. I mean, the Kershaw thing was great. I mean, just blunders the last couple games from the Blue Jays. You hate to see that. It's ironic because their broadcasters were very quick to point fingers at teams like ours that can't run the bases or play defense, and it looks like that is what came back to lose their World Series too. You can't make mistakes against this team. It was cool to see Kershaw, Yamamoto on no day's rest after pitching a zillion pitches the day before, and there was a 16-inning game in between in this World Series. Like, just one for a classic game. Yeah, it was so awesome.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest baseball guy if the Yankees aren't involved, and I rarely watch the World Series if the Yankees aren't in it. But this one, I was glued to all 7 games. It was just such a high level of play, and it was nice to see defensively, teams making plays defensively in that way. I mean, the Dodgers won back-to-back World Series batting 200 in the series, so it's they're winning with defense. The Blue Jays are winning with defense, making plays, just highlight play after highlight play on the defensive side. And the Dodgers usually put the ball in play, but it was just a lot of defensive, monumental pivot plays, runners left on bases, just a lot of drama. And how could you ask for anything more than that? It just delivered in every sense of it. And I'm not shocked at all to see those rating numbers because, even a guy like me that's mostly going to watch football and basketball. This was just must-see TV, and it was an awesome series. And the Blue Jays had them beat, and they're going to be kicking themselves. Yeah, they're going to be kicking themselves for a long time. I think they played the Dodgers as good as anyone could. Yeah, and just the home run in the 9th, and leaving bases loaded in the 10th is just they're gonna kick themselves over and over again for that one.
Yeah. They definitely gave this away. That they had this series, but again, this is why you play the game, is because anything can happen, and baseball legit is another game that is truly a game of inches, for sure. To your point, Harrison, seeing the leather flash, Vlad Guerrero diving at first base, showing people that may not pay attention to his game, how good he is defensively at first base, and why the Blue Jays locking him up for the long period of time this is the reason why. This man pimped a home run off of Shohei Ohtani. They put out a baseball card, and just to save baseball, they made sure they kind of put it at an angle that you couldn't really see that it was Shohei Ohtani, but it's him. You get to see the play that was made out in the outfield where what's his name ran over what's his name? I can't even think of his name.
Oh
for
yeah, the
for
center fielder.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yes, you're seeing plays like that. You're seeing the double plays that happen in the field. Like it was just such a beautiful game, and the fact that Mookie Betts now has 4 rings
Yeah, it's impressive.
is super impressive. The fact that one game Shohei absolutely goes off and then gives up pivotal runs in another game and it could be over, right? When he started off that game, and he and Bo Bichette took him yard, I was like, wow, if this continues to go this way, like they're gonna blame Shohei for this.
He was on base
A short
9 times the night before.
I'm not saying that. I know,
Yeah.
but just what they would say for his pitching because Glass now was ready to go and was supposed to have that start, and it would have been a Aaron Boone esque decision by Roberts and be like, why did you choose that when you had him going there? But again, how could you go wrong with Shohei Ohtani, who is one of the greatest players of all time, right? You either have it or you don't, but then you have Yoshi Yamamoto, who was absolutely phenomenal, and I think should be talked about more and more and more for what he did and how he was able to come in and just be like, yeah, I'm just going to shut you down. That splitter is absolutely filthy that he throws.
Even with all that, the Blue Jays are like millimeters away. They're millimeters away from winning that game. That play at the plate where Will Smith's toe just gets back to home plate. Like imagine losing a World Series in that
like
way.
That.
Like, oh my god,
yes.
It was so good.
You can go flashback to the game. What was it the game before where the ball is under the the pads there, right? Like there's so many things, and this is why.
That's why
I'm so glad we had an opportunity to have it and talk about sports because we get to talk about things like this, that it's the best reality TV that you can ever watch because you never know what you're going to get unless you're one of those people out here and just saying that everything's rigged before gambling, which is a whole other thing. So there's that. Speaking of gambling,
we won't talk about that.
Okay. But we'll talk about the NBA where it's happening.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay. Bulls and 76ers start off 5-1, leading the East. The Thunder are 7-0, leading the West. Spurs are 5-1, and the Lakers are 5-2. So some really good teams kind of. It's very early, but putting a little distance between themselves. The fact that the Thunder started 7-0.
Yeah, they're just obviously
they're just really
crop.
good. Yeah.
The Bulls, Josh Giddey's playing out of his mind. They've been obviously a surprise. I know. They're playing out of their mind, or Josh Giddey is. And then the Sixers, we're back. We don't. Embiid's playing kind of like a fourth man role. You got VJ Edgecombe. They're just continue to win games. And the Spurs, man, they started 5-0 and like threw a parade on the court. It was very odd, but it's the best start the Spurs have ever had, which is shocking to me. But 5-1 is nothing to sneeze at. So, and then the Lakers, they've been without LeBron and without Luka for a good probably half the games. Austin Reeves had a 50 ball.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Reeves is out here throwing lobs to Bronny. He said the other day, he's like, I got to be the first person in history to throw a lob to a father and son duo. So that's pretty cool. So we got some good NBA storylines. So, and then the Blazers 4-2 without their coach. Who's away for reasons.
Wonder what those reasons are. Wonder.
So, hey, NBA always interesting.
Yeah, I need to watch more. I haven't really watched anything yet. I was waiting for.
Fine.
I do because I miss watching it, so I have to do that. But I mean, if the game's on ESPN, I won't be able to watch it because I have YouTube TV. So, speaking of which, this is a do you care? And I do care that ESPN and YouTube TV are fighting, that billionaires are fighting about things that are affecting us small people. I did see a tweet from somebody on X, or I guess an X or whatever it would be considered to be now. Somebody said, at this point, I'm just going to go back to cable. And I really kind of don't blame that individual because I'm really getting tired of the rights war of who has what, and you got to get this to get that. And now we all have our separate apps. So you got to buy all these apps, which is going to be more than cable, which was the whole point of streaming, was to be able to kind of reduce the whole cable monotony. But all these companies are like, well, this is a new way to get you to come over here because we have only this over here. And it's just screwing us as the customer as usual. So I really don't like it at all. They ripped all of the Disney things off of YouTube TV, and it's kind of forced people to go and buy ESPN app or buy the Hulu package that has ESPN and whatnot, which I refuse to do. It's just annoying to me knowing that it's just not there and I can't just watch something like at a glimpse. So I'll just go to YouTube and watch all the things that I need to see highlight wise and see recaps of things because I can still see all the stuff there. So.
Yeah, I care a lot. I have YouTube TV as well, but to see, these billionaires fighting over money is it's gross and it sucks. And it's unfortunate for the fans and the people that want to watch. I also refuse to kind of go over to the Hulu route because it's like ESPN owns Hulu too, and it's like very obvious what they're trying to do and trying to get people to, buy their app for $19.99 or go over to Hulu, and then you have ESPN commentators shilling for the company openly, and it's all just really gross and obvious, and it's like I'm not an idiot. And, a lot of the consumers aren't idiots. So it's like, pay us a little respect, man, because it's I can go without watching you. Like, I truly can. I truly can. We obviously Saturday is a big college football day, but, I'll watch the games on Fox. I'll watch the ones on NBC. And soon enough, they'll probably try to gouge us too. And then I'll just go without you too, man. Like, we'll find a way. So I hope they can get it together in some way and figure it out for the consumer, but I have little faith that they will. I thought by now, like with Monday Night Football, they're going to catch a ratings ding for that with all the people that are
Cowboys
on
too.
Yeah, Cowboys too. So I thought, one side would cave by now, but maybe we're in it for the long haul. But
that's right. I forgot that's on ESPN tonight.
That's ESPN, yeah. Yeah, they don't have football, which is going to be tough for them. I still watched all the NFL games yesterday and the Sunday Night Football game. So it's going to be an interesting battle, but we all kind of lose in the process.
Yeah, they've been doing this. I think it's over what YouTube's willing to pay for ESPN, right? So ESPN's had this battle with cable providers for years now, and thus why they've brought out that the new app. So. Yeah, it's just. I think there's a point where it's just. Yeah, we will find our sports. We will the show goes on kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it's a bummer, but
I think this might be a moment for sports fans in history if it continues to go down the path. Like this was the moment that ESPN lost the power that they have. They are obviously the North Star in sports, right? Everybody goes to them, whether you like it or not. You see something from ESPN because they have so much reach, right? But there's going to be somebody or something that's going to pop up if this continues to happen, and it's going to be like, oh, real reporting. Like we talked about this in our chat. Like we've watched some really great names leave ESPN and go on and do their own thing. And it's just like, damn, they had that person and they could have done this with that. And we watched it. Pablo Torres. We have who else? I'm trying to think of some other
laundry
players.
list.
Bomani Jones.
Bomani, yeah, correct. Like there's so many. There's many people that are in different places,
Ryan
right?
Yeah,
correct.
Cowherd.
Over and over and over again. You can keep Colin out of that.
There's just so many. There's tons of people out there branching off, and it's only better for us to spread it out because when you have a conglomerate like the way they are, they can demand $35 more from YouTube than they are from Hulu, and it's like,
especially considering what they've paid for football and everything, SEC and everything else. Yeah,
but it's like there is a point where that bubble will pop. Like every single time we get a new rights deal that's more and more and more, and that's only going to kind of trigger back to the consumer. And it's like, how much more are people willing to pay or can afford to pay for this? And I think we're going to reach I think we're reaching that point sooner rather than later of like, okay, where's the line? What's the line here of like what this is worth?
I think we're just paying for some of the boneheaded deals that ESPN has made or not made. I mean, look at UFC. We've had UFC on there forever. You're charging everybody for pay-per-views. UFC said, okay, our contract's done. Now we're going to, I think it's Paramount.
Yeah.
And now you pay for the subscription each month and you get UFC fights and you don't have to pay for a pay-per-view anymore. Like, it's game-changing to know that you can now, it's going to eliminate people going and doing illegal streams, because all you got to do is pay, what is it, in total for a year, like $100 or $200 for a whole year for your subscription, which basically is like 3 pay-per-views if you stayed with ESPN. Like, it's just you got to understand where the consumer's at, and they're so powerful enough that they know they don't have to do that, and they already have certain people that are just going to consume it no matter what. But then you're going to have people like me that I'm going to openly say that I'm just going to stream it illegally, and I'm just going to do it that way, and I'll find a way of doing it just to prove to you that I can watch it if I want to watch it, but you're not going to get my numbers because I'm actually not providing those numbers to you. You're going to continue to create and I don't want to snitch on the things. I mean, well, this one has been shut down, but Streamies, which was shut down, which was a goat, one of the goats. Like, you could have people going and doing and watching stuff like that. It's just like, if you made it more affordable, if you made it easier for people to consume and understand that people have so many other bills already, then we would all watch it on your platform. But stop doing this. I'm waiting for there to be one app that allows you to get like just has all agreement with all these sports things. Be like, you can watch it in one spot, pay this low fee, and go from there. There's got to be somebody that's going to figure it out somehow, some way.
Sounds like cable.
It does.
It's just going backwards. Yeah,
it
going
does.
backwards.
What did you say? I'm streaming illegally. FBI.
Yep.
FBI, we got him.
The rights and views of this show do not necessarily reflect those of whatever it is.
He's right. He's right inside. Go in. Get him. Get him.
I don't mirror it. I just watch if somebody mirrors it. I don't mirror it myself.
ESPN does a great job, especially being as big as they are. I've always said that they're like the gateway drug of sports. Right? Whether it's hardcore people that, like the 4 of us that love sports and have tried to turn this into something more than just sitting on the couch and watching sports and talking about sports, to, just introducing, we're watching a game and then our significant others or friends are getting people into it, whether it's fantasy sports or, and anything. They do a really good job of casting a net. But it's like the entry level to a lot of things. If you and then you delve off into kind of, whether it's The Athletic or just other places to get different kind of content. But yeah, it's just, even Rome falls. I don't think that's going to be the case here with ESPN.
No,
I think
Disney
they'll
will
figure this out.
Yeah,
but it's just frustrating. And now you're going to have a lot of really angry Cowboy fans tonight, which is not the situation you want. Again, I don't, even though I'm in this space, in this marketing space, I don't really know what the viewership of YouTube TV is. I don't think it's enormous, but it's still gonna hurt. I mean, for Comcast subscribers or Optimum subscribers in the area for the last year, we haven't been able to watch MSG. It's hard. It's frustrating.
It's the same. I haven't been able to watch a Ranger game in like a year.
Yeah.
It's
so I could buy the Gotham Sports app, but
not doing it.
Yeah, so it's
not doing it.
It's frustrating. The bubble's going to burst. Taste to your point. It's just how, and then there's you can really get into it. Like Peacock isn't growing the way it should have with all the rights that they have and the stuff they have, and then we'll see if a shot in the arm the UFC gives Paramount. Like, there's going to be a breaking point to a lot of these things, and I think some of these places, some of these streamers are going to find that it's easier to just lend out your inventory and your legacy programming than to house it and charge a subscription. But we'll see.
YouTube TV on as of April 2025 had 9.4 million subscribers for YouTube TV.
Okay.
Maintains the largest share of TV viewing.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Well, so it's a big community. It is one of the reasons. It was also one of the more affordable things to do, and the options that you get. The fact that they were offering, split 4 TVs screens on your TV is such a huge part to watch that for sports, and it's just unfortunate again that it's just wealthy fighting over wealthy problems, and then the consumers are the ones that are taking the brunt of it. So you do with it as you may, but again, I don't really need ESPN. I'm good. But thanks though. Yep. Clemens, Bonds, Mattingly. Shout out to Donnie Baseball.
Yeah, man.
I know that's who I felt really bad for. Among 8 players eligible for errors committee vote at the MLB winter meetings on December 7th. Do you care? Yes, and yes, I do. All 3 of those names. I don't know who the others are.
Carlos Delgado was in there. There's a couple other names. Yeah,
those guys are part of my upbringing of baseball, and two of those guys right there that you mentioned are 2 of the greatest hitters in baseball ever. Period. And Don Mattingly and Barry Bonds, and then one is one of the greatest pitchers ever in baseball, and Roger Clemens. So I do care. I understand. Again,
Gary Sheffield, Jeff Kent, Fernando Valenzuela. So
yes, I care. Again, I know this is not Don Mattingly portion, but for Barry and Roger for the steroid era is just put them in a hall and give them an asterisk and put something next to it and let us know, like, part of the steroid era or something like that.
What does the eras committee do?
So it used to be called the Veterans Committee. So it's like 16 veterans. Like, I think Tony La Russa was a part of it. I don't know who's currently on it, but they vote like every 3 years. So this is going to be what Pete Rose is going to be. Pete Rose is going to be on this ballot in 3 years. That was part of the thing, the news earlier in the year. So this is going to be, you're basically voted on by your peers here. So this is going to be really interesting with the Clemens and Bonds thing, particularly. I mean, Mattingly, there were seasons where he was the best player in baseball, but he just didn't do it long enough. And unfortunately, career cut short because of the back problems. But it's going to be really interesting because I think you need 12 of the 16 votes. Yeah. And you're in. Fred McGriff got in 3 years ago. I don't know if I just said that, but so a lot of people were like, I don't know if Fred McGriff's a Hall of Famer. That's usually how some of these like borderline guys get in. I mean, to your point, Clemens and Bonds were arguably the 2 best at their position while they were playing, the asterisk or not. I've said this a lot. I think we've kind of all said this. I'm not dying on this hill anymore. Put an asterisk, do something. Everyone well knows what the hell's went on. Let's
move on. It's a black eye for baseball. Go. We know what happened. I think
they're going to get in just based on being voted on by, other coaches and former players and Hall of Famers and stuff. But
cool. So very interesting. Before we get out of here, if you guys haven't watched it, I haven't watched it yet, but people keep telling me about it. The Iverson documentary is on my list to watch this weekend. The Iverson documentary, the Saquon documentary is another one that I have to watch this weekend. But I keep hearing the Iverson is like, I've heard it like, if you loved Iverson, you're going to love him even more from that point. So definitely want to watch that.
I don't know if that's possible for me.
I don't know if that's possible for me either, but I've heard it's even more. And then what's the one on Netflix, Starting Five?
That one's good. Right? I watched that one.
So I heard that was really, really good with Halliburton, and a lot of people got to see a different side of Halliburton too.
That got better. That got better from last year. So if you watched last year's and liked it, like this one, the one they did this year is even better. Yeah.
Good. definitely gotta watch it. Just even for the fact of James Harden and him, just the nonsense that he is. He's a wild man.
You'll look at James Harden in a whole new light. Like, I'm not the biggest James Harden guy, but just the access he gives, the vulnerability he gives, changed my mind on James Harden. Like, I loved him in that. It was so different. I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah. Okay, I definitely will watch that. But yeah, definitely been hearing a lot about the Iverson one, and definitely hearing about the Saquon one. I've gotten texts about the Saquon one and saying whoever's on Saquon's team and decided to do it around that time is so genius, because they give you that access of seeing what you didn't see from Hard Knocks and how that whole thing kind of folded out, and seeing it all. And I'm intrigued to see how that pans out. Cool. So with that being said, gentlemen, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
When you're listening to this, tomorrow's election day, so go vote. Rock the
Absolutely.
vote, whatever.
Absolutely.
You can go to, I don't know, vote.org or something and just do it. Hashtag democracy.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Go Birds. I won't be able to watch it, but go Birds.
All right. On that note, Sam, take us out, please, sir.
Yeah, what number is this? I closed it.
191.
191. God damn, we're cooking with gas.
Close to 200. Close to 200.
So for Brandon and Harrison and Bacon, wherever you are, outside the Giants facility.
He's working on the turf there. He's trying to get it up and petitioning for grass. Yeah, he's petitioning for grass,
He's growing his own grass.
He might be, actually. Yeah. He might be.
Yeah, I don't know if give him another day he skipped 2 weeks of, bad Giants losses. So
I know we're gonna have to put a call
Bronco
out.
game there too. Yeah, it's for the best here.
We're gonna do a home check for sure.
Yeah, we make sure you're okay.
Make sure your friends are.
Thanks for listening, guys. Tell your friends. We'll be back next week. Peace.
Go Birds.